Hey guys, it's Will, Courtside Tennis and Pickleball, and today I wanted to talk to you about how to string natural gut. The first main trick to natural gut is you want to avoid it getting kinked or creased. So what we like to do is we like to pre-stretch it before we string it. That's going to make it easier to string and avoid it from having a tendency to curl up and crease. When the natural gut kinks or gets creased, it'll weaken the gut, which could lead for it to breaking prematurely. So we want to avoid that as much as possible. What we use at most of our stores is like a pole, has a nice rounded edge on it, so it shouldn't hurt the natural gut. And we just put the string around the pole, and then we grab a racket, and then we want to find the two ends. And you kind of want to take your time. It kind of has a tendency to start wanting to like kink up. And that's what we're trying to avoid. So just kind of go slow with it. Undo those kinks without letting it crease. And once we find the two ends, and by the way, if you're wondering, this is natural gut. It's just the black version of the Babolat VS Touch, which is one of the better guts on the market. So once we find the two ends, we just grab them. You want to put it lengthwise down the handle, and then wrap. I like to wrap 2 times around. And then you just apply a little bit of pressure. Like I wouldn't pull extremely hard, but maybe just use your body weight to kind of stretch it out 3 or 4 times. A lot of times people will pre-stretch polyester strings. That's more for tension loss. Natural gut loses tension less than any other string. So the reason why we're pre-stretching it again is just to avoid it kinking up. Makes it a lot easier to string. So once we have it stretched out, you can unravel it. And then I go find the middle of the string on the pole. And once you find that middle of the string, you can cut it as needed. In this case, I'm just going to cut it right down the middle. A lot of times, if you don't know, if you're doing both mains and crosses, mains take a little bit more than crosses do, so I usually do a foot more for the mains. And that's how you pre-stretch the gut. That's step number 1 that we do. If you do not have a pole, another method that you can do is a door handle. A lot of times door handles have kind of like an edge on them, so I would advise putting a sock around the handle. And that'll give it some padding, and you can stretch it out on a handle as well. And then comes time to actually string the natural gut. I already have the mains done. And the biggest thing with natural gut is you just want to be, it's a little more delicate, so you just want to avoid it creasing and kinking. You want to take your time with it. So we'll start the crosses here. Okay, I'm going to make sure it doesn't kink up or anything. There's different ways to do this. I've seen people use a starting clamp, and that might work well too. I think the most important thing when you tie your knot, just pull a little more gentle on the knot so it doesn't break prematurely. It might not happen right when you're stringing it, but maybe after a few times playing, it might break at the knot. So you just want to be kind of careful with it. And I just pull a little bit more gentle than I would other strings. The trick of pulling knots is not using a lot of force. It's just more how you position your pliers and how you pull. But that's the knot that we use. I'd love to hear your guys' feedback if you have other ways to string the knots or string the first starting knot on gut. I know there's different ways, but this has always worked well with us. And yeah, and then we just keep on going. do a couple crosses. There's one thing that we do a little different with natural gut that I'd like to show you. The biggest thing too, like, you want to avoid the natural gut because it does have a tendency to kink up. But if it does kink up, just undo it, get it straight. Never pull tension when it's kinked up because it will actually usually break the string when you pull the tension. But what I like to do for gut on the crosses is, instead of just doing your normal distribute the strings that way, you can pull it from the middle. This will reduce the friction a lot. It takes a little bit longer, but I like to be a little bit more delicate with the gut. And you just keep going like so. But if you like this video, please like and subscribe to us. I'd love to have any other methods that you guys might use. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.